Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, February 8. Jamaica and the United States have agreed to strengthen security cooperation to more effectively combat transnational organized crime. The governments made the commitment Wednesday during a 3-hour visit to the island by United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
The sharing and exchange of intelligence is critical to the safety and security of our two countries and the wider region.
Jamaica is our closest partner in this region. We appreciate the government of Jamaica has made important progress combating the lotto scams, cooperating closely with U.S. authorities to extradite suspected lotto scammers to the United States and establishing a bilateral lotto scam task force.
Commitments have also been given to continue the support of the two countries' security forces, criminal justice systems, as well as anti-corruption and anti-gang programs. In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says Jamaica is exploring new opportunities for energy diversification with the United States of America.
With the new dynamics in the global trade in energy, and with the United States now becoming a net exporter of energy resources, Jamaica can, in this new paradigm, benefit from that.
Mr. Holness was responding to questions posed by journalists during yesterday's press conference involving U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Concerns have been raised about regional energy security as the United States steps up its sanctions against Venezuela, a regional oil supplier. For his part, Mr. Tillerson said considerations would be given to the impact of U.S. actions on Caribbean countries that import Venezuelan oil.
I don't want to get into specifics because we're going to undertake a very quick study to see are there some things that the U.S. could easily do with our rich energy endowment, with the infrastructure that we already have available. What could we do to perhaps soften the impact of that?
Jamaica was the last stop on the U.S. Secretary of State's week-long visit to Latin America and the Caribbean region. In other news, the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ, says it's in full preparation mode for the by-elections in the St. Andrew Northwestern constituency and the Norman Gardens division. The by-elections are scheduled for March 5, and nomination day is set for next Monday, February 12. Nominations will be accepted between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the Pembroke Hall Community Center in St. Andrew Northwestern, and from 12 noon to 2 p.m. at the Windward Road Primary and Junior High School for Norman Gardens. 112 polling stations will be used in Northwestern St. Andrew and 52 in Norman Gardens. 420 election day workers will be employed to conduct both elections, and the EOJ says personnel are being trained to use the electronic voter identification system in both elections. The Electoral Office of Jamaica has submitted a $41 million budget to execute both by-elections. The St. Andrew Northwestern by-election is being held to select a replacement for Member of Parliament Derek Smith, who recently announced his retirement from active politics. Meanwhile, the Norman Gardens Parish Council seat became vacant last year when Angela Brown Burke resigned as councillor to run as Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southwest. The Water Resources Authority, WRA, has officially launched the introduction of a volume-based fee, VBF, that will be charged to all persons or entities that have a license to abstract and use water in Jamaica. The move is largely in response to increased demand for water resources and the resulting need to protect against overpumping. WRA's Managing Director, Herbert Thomas, says the fee is intended to be both a regulatory and an economic instrument.
On the one hand, it will be a catalyst for reducing water demands through increased efficiency and effectiveness in the usage of water allocated to the various abstractors. The VBF will also supplement the budgetary subventions needed to enhance our compliance monitoring and to provide financing support to the capital works of expanding the national hydromet network on rivers and wells.
Minister Horace Chang, who launched the water abstraction fee on Wednesday, says the revenue will allow the WRA to continue critical research on managing our water resources.
The implementation of the abstraction fee and the benefits to be derived in securing our own water resource is in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and our own vision of 2030 vision, which sees the access to clean potable water for all Jamaicans as a critical development objective.
Fees are due on April 1 each year for the duration of the license, though licensees may make arrangements to pay quarterly or half-yearly. The charges are calculated at less than $1 per 1,000 gallons of water. The lowest rates are applied to non-consumptive users, while the highest rates are charged to industrial and agricultural uses. And finally, the Buff Bay and Iris Gelly primary schools have received grants valued at $10 million to bolster projects at the institutions. The funds were dispersed by the Embassy of Japan under its Grant Assistance for Grassroots and Human Security project. The Buff Bay Primary School received $67,515 for the purchase of a 2018 Toyota Coaster bus to transport students. Iris Gelly, meanwhile, received a check valued at $18,601 towards its rainwater harvesting and sanitation project.
This is also timely as our overall investment in education, because we all agree that education will benefit not only individuals, but also the wider community.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thank you for watching.